there's a lot of really interesting things going on in this matchup, and none of the card choices are really that different, but just like the dynamics of the matchup, like what cards are important, like what do you want to spreading seas, when do you tectonic edge, like how good are certain cards in the matchup. I mean, I think it's going to be huge. All right. Here we go, and we're on the screen now for those just joining us. Welcome to SCG Live. We're bringing you live coverage of the Star City Games Open Series here in San Jose, California. I'm Gavin Verhey. I'm joined by Joey Pasco of Yo MTG Taps. On the right of your screen, you'll see Brian Kibler. Brian is, I mean, like I said before today, the name speaks for himself. He's a Hall of Famer. He played this deck at Worlds. He's been tweaking it ever since. He knows how to play it really well. He's a California native, but he still drove 8 hours for this event because of how big the state is. And now he's playing on his win-and-in match. He lost in round 2. Tiebreakers weren't good enough. He's going to have to win this round to make it in. On your left, Eugene Koo. He is playing Red-Green Valakut. And his list is pretty stock, but he's managed to get it all the way this far. He's one of the few players who are doing well with Red-Green Valakut in this tournament. So it's going to be interesting to watch this play out. It'll be really cool to see the dynamics of this matchup in action. And they're going to shuffle up here. And the dice roll is definitely pretty important, I feel. I mean, if the Valakut deck starts on the play, they can get so far ahead of you. And I just mean a lot to Brian Kibler. He's been working hard, and you know, he would really like this top pick. All right. Who do you think's favored in the matchup, Joey?
I think I think Kibler's favored because I think this is a matchup that he's prepared for. Valakut has been a known deck, a known quantity in the metagame for a while now. Call Go only first appeared at Worlds and has not really been seen too much outside of Worlds, except for players like Brian Kibler advocating it on Star City. So, and that was only really this week. So I feel like Kibler's more prepared for Valakut than Valakut is prepared for Call Go. As Brian has been saying all day, you know, he's got strategies to kind of exploit this sort of matchup. He's got the spreading seas, which he can deny his opponent's green sources. He's got tectonic edges, and this is all relevant. I mean, to a deck that revolves around a non-basic land. So let's see. Koo opens with a mountain, a lovely unhinged mountain. I love those.
Yeah, gorgeous. Yeah, those lands are just so pretty. I don't think we've seen a single one of those today. I've seen a lot of beta lands, but
yeah, it's got the unhinged lands.
And then there's the Lotus Cobra, which is the big issue.
Turn 2 Lotus Cobra.
Out of the sideboard, Kibler's got Oust, but game 1 is rough to deal with those Cobras.
So goes with the Explore. He definitely has more land in his hand. I've seen him. There's definitely a mountain, and that's what he plays. So plays another Explore. Wow, this is nuts. Plays a mountain. And a third Explore, a triple Explore on turn 2. How ridiculous is that?
What just happened to me?
What land is that?
I think, is that Razorbird's Thicket?
Okay.
Or that's Evolving Wilds.
Evolving Wilds, yeah.
Evolving Wilds.
Had a big glare on it. Wow. Even Kibler's like, what? 3 Explorers?
Yeah, okay.
Seriously.
That's the draw he needed, and what's in his hand are those lands. I thought I saw a spell there, too. If he has some action, this is going to be a rough time for Brian Kibler.
Wow.
I mean, that was basically just the nut draw. Turn 2 Lotus Cobra, turn 3
turn
Explore,
3, yeah.
Explore.
Yeah.
I mean, is this real life?
Yeah. Well, let's see what happens.
Oh, man.
He plays a fetch land, Misty Rainforest, fetches up a forest. So he's got... Does he have 8 or 9 mana? Or he's got a... Well, he's got 2 in his pool for sure. Didn't do anything with it? I don't think he did anything with the fetch mana. Because he swung with the Lotus Cobra. Unless he fetched after the swing and I missed it, but he must have. and he played a Harrow, sacrificing a Forest.
So he's thinning things out, but he doesn't have a Valakut yet. There's no Primeval Titan down, so until he accelerates a little more, he's not really getting anywhere. But it's only a matter of time until he plucks something big.
Right. You know? It's kind of a. It looks like Eugene has maybe one card in his hand. He's got plenty of lands and a Lotus Cobra, but lands and a Lotus Cobra are not going to get there.
I mean, once again, it's the looming doom, though, right?
Right, exactly.
Like any draw. I mean, here's a Jace, which will help out a little bit. He could Fate Seal potentially.
See, what does he want to do? He certainly doesn't want to.
I mean, there's Evolving Wilds on the battlefield, but I think it's probably still correct to Fate Seal here. But I don't know. Kibler knows this deck well. If you watch him play in his premium videos this week, it was just phenomenal. Like, you know, seeing his thought process for everything. Yeah, and so he did choose the Fate Seal, right?
Yeah, it looks like, you know, looks like did he leave it? It doesn't even matter because Eugene just uses Evolving Wilds to search for his 5th mountain. So Valakut is live. What? Do I know who it is? Oh, his list. That's not Matt. No, it's not his list.
His deck list are you looking for? Mm-hmm. Oh no, we haven't had his deck list all day. Judge was trying to get Matt Nass's deck list, and that is neither of the players that we are featuring.
I thought he said, "Do you know who this is?" And I was like, Matt Nass? What? He's just pointing to his name. It seems like such a nut draw for Eugene, but you know, not having action.
Yeah,
you can have all the mana in the world if you don't have anything to use it on.
Which is really impressive because he drew 3 cards off of those Explorers.
Yeah.
And he still just didn't find anything. No Primeval Titans, no Valakuts, not even a Summoning Trap or Avenger of Zendikar, or he also has Inferno Titan. There's a ton he could have drawn, and he's blanking on it. But, I mean, the problem is Kibler has to move into position to deal with any of those fast.
Kibler does have a Stoic Rebuttal in hand.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because we've been talking to Kibler all day, and he's been saying about being the aggressor, and does he want to keep mana open to for this hard counter? He's got a Spell Pierce, which at this point is almost irrelevant. He goes for the aggressive play and plays a Gideon with the +2, making the going to make that Lotus Cobra attack into him. I see it looks like a Colony Garden in Eugene's hand. Just these two.
We do not have Matt Nass's deck list, that's what
it is.
No, we haven't had him all day.
Yeah, we haven't had his all day now. So, and I think, so Eugene just played a Forest, and I think he's got a Colony Garden in his hand, and one other card, I'm not even sure what it is. So he's absolutely flooded. I mean, part of that flood is his own doing with Triple Explorer.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it wasn't like he intended. It wasn't like he cast those Explorers were like, man, I really hope I just draw lands for the rest of the game.
Yeah.
Here, you know? It's,
So Brian untaps with the Gideon.
Wow. And like we said all day, he's been being aggressive with those cards, and you know, some players think we just hold back their countermeasures to be like, all right, well, I have to be stoic here, and
here he goes. He's going to take him out in 2 swings.
Here he goes.
If
like,
Eugene
well,
can't capitalize,
he's like, you know what? I can't let him get back into this game. I'm just going to try and kill him now.
Right, Eugene just drew him out. Yeah. So it's Colony Garden, Mountain.
Colony Garden. So the garden can block that Gideon. And Eugene Koo is just in disbelief right now. He's like, I don't get it. What happened? I was so far ahead.
He can. He's got an option here to go Wrath and attack with Gideon, or just swing with Colonnade.
I mean, and he has Jace active.
That's true too. He could.
So he can just pick apart.
He could bounce the token and swing in. Can he do that? Right? Like bounce the token with Jace, and then swing in for.
No, he has to go for the Day of Judgment plan.
Couldn't he have just done that though? Bounce the token.
Does he know all the cards in Eugene's hand?
I don't know.
I mean, I feel like this is pretty safe because if he knows what his top card is, he knows what he's going to draw. There's no reason to. Yeah.
Yeah, there it goes.
I mean,
wow.
That's incredible. Like
that was
like
incredible.
That was so bad for Kibler there.
Yeah. Turn 2 Lotus Cobra. Turn 3 Explore. That was it. That was all the action.
That is insane.
I mean, did he play more than 3 Explorers? Oh, he played a Harrow. I'm trying to think of what spells were even played on Eugene's side.
A little bit of a bad draw there, but also just showed Kibler know how to play his deck, right? Like,
yeah.
I mean, he was like, you know what? I could just hold on back on this counter magic, but nope, I'm just going to go for it.
Yeah.
Gideon, Jace, Stoic Rebuttal, Gideon, Jace, Celestial Colony, like he was just willing to tap out at every possible opportunity.
Yeah, it is pretty amazing when you think about how Gideon and Colonnade just combined for a 2-turn clock. If you have no way to block Gideon, 2-turn clock and you're out. And that was so fast too. That was a 10-minute game. Just a perfect example of Brian Kibler being the aggressor, as he has been claiming all day. I think you know what it is that the name of the deck, Call Go, makes people think back to Draw Go, and that's why they think that they're supposed to play it like a Draw Go deck. But it's not Draw Go, it's Call Go. It's, I'm going to play Squadron Hawks and beat you down with birds. Very impressive. So, alright, let's look at the sideboards really quick. Kibler will side in a Tectonic Edge, probably Flash Freeze.
Seemed like you were going to explode into something.
When you have 3 Explorers.
What do you think? Does he side in the Pride?
I 3-buy
Another hard counter against the this deck.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to bring in those Deprives and those Flash Freezes too.
Right. So.
And definitely that Tectonic Edge.
You can go with the Oust and the Journeys, maybe, fighting against the Lotus Cobras and things like that.
Right. I mean, I don't think he has to bring in the Condemns, but the interesting part is definitely if he wants the Oust or the Journeys. I mean, because maybe you can just journey away one of the Titans, or ousting a Lotus Cobra can be huge. I think the Oust will almost certainly make it in.
Yeah.
I don't know about Journey. Condemn probably not. Doesn't really feel like what he's looking for. Over on the other side, let's see, Gaia's Revenge. Now that card is a big problem.
I don't know. Elspeth's a nice trump to the Gaia's Revenge.
Right, and he also has Day of Judgment too to help deal with Gaia's Revenge.
Mm-hmm.
There's some acidic slimes, which could be a big issue, especially if he has to start like last time. Turn 3, acidic slime down your lands, and if Kibler's tapping out, that could be a big issue. Another summoning trap, sure. Terastodon, maybe. And then Back to Nature is interesting. It gets rid of all the Spreading Seas on the battlefield and Journey to Nowhere if Kibler boards those in.
It's the upgraded Tranquility, right?
You're the third judge to come that.
We need a sign. No Matt Nass deck lists here.
I mean, I can tell you what he's playing, but that's not going to help you.
We've never had it all day. I'm like looking around.
Yeah, we haven't featured him all day.
Yeah, there it is. It's sitting here folded up, but we've never had it. Don't know why it was there, because we never actually featured him.
Yeah, we didn't talk to anybody who was... Yeah, I don't know how that even got there. I wonder if Glenn had it at some point.
Yeah.
But regardless, so anyway, those Back to Natures might come in to combat Spreading Seas. Other than that, I mean, what goes out? Harrow can be a dangerous card against decks like this because they can counter your Harrow and then it sets you back land. But on the flip side, you can Harrow away a Spreading Seas land, or even better, cast Harrow in response to Spreading Seas.
Or a Tectonic Edge or something
Tectonic
like that,
Edge,
right?
yeah, exactly. I mean, Lightning Bolt and Arc Trail probably both come out. I've heard mixed things about Colony Guard Expedition in this matchup. Colony Guard Expedition.
Yeah.
So,
Back to Nature. Wow, like seeing that card and thinking, wow, Tranquility cost 1 more and was a sorcery. Like, I remember playing with Tranquility.
Yeah, I mean, I played with Tranquility too, but it's good that they kind of push that. It's nice to have a way to destroy all enchantments, especially in a format where there's Spreading Seas and there's Journey to Nowheres and Luminarch Ascensions, and then extended you have all kinds of different enchantments. So it's great that the problem with enchantment removal is you don't really just want to 1-for-1 yourself with it against cards like Spreading Seas.
Yeah.
So later in the game, this not only takes out all the Spreading Seas, but you can still sideboard it and use it against individual things like Pyromancer's Ascension. So it's got a nice little versatility to it. All right, so let's see what we got there. Looks like a lot of fatties and a Koth. Is that a cultivate? Yeah, cultivate in Ku's hand.
Where's the Koth? Did he have? I didn't even see. Oh, there's Koth.
Two Koths with a hammer.
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Yep. He's in the tank.
Yeah.
It's a slow hand.
It's like the exact opposite of what he had last game.
Yeah, so true. And he ends up shipping it back. I think that's right. I think he wants to establish a fast hand in this game with some Lotus Cobra action or something like that. And Brian quickly keeps. Snap keep from Brian. It looks like Mana Leak, Squadron Hawk, Gideon, Day of Judgment. Pretty good hand. Oh, Spreading Seas.
Wow.
Maybe that wasn't a Squadron Hawk, but definitely Spreading Seas.
Yeah, see Gideon, Mana Leak. Man, he moves those cards so fast. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, and
it's really impressive skill.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you can tell. Playing against Brian, I could tell he was almost intimidating. Like, normally the card shuffling thing isn't a big deal. Like, everyone does it. You just get used to it. You know, when you start playing, maybe it's a little weird because it blocks out your mind or whatever. But the way he does it, it's like he's flipping so fast. Like he's thinking and almost like he's creating this menacing presence over you, which is really impressive.
The glare from his Hall of Fame ring in your eyes, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He sits there while you're shuffling and like moves his hand just to put the glare in your eyes there.
So Eugene Ku's going down to 6 cards. And for those of you just tuning in, I'm Gavin Verhey, and this is Joey Pasco of Yo MTG Taps Fame with me, and we're coming to you live from the Star City Games Open Series here in San Jose. This is round 9 of 9 rounds. This is the last round, and these two players are playing for top 8. On your right, there's Brian Kibler. He's playing Kago. He's been doing a great job with it. He's been playing it since Worlds. He's modified it, tweaked it. He's right at the list that he liked, which is only 1 card off from the same list he used on Star City Games Premium earlier this week. And on your left is Eugene Ku, who's playing Red-Green Valakut, one of the few we've seen in this tournament, kind of a resurgence of the Rug deck and less of the Valakut deck, but there is some of it left, and he's one of the people playing it. So Brian Kibler has got that Colonnade, and you see Lotus Cobra here? Yep, looks like Lotus Cobra.
This looks strange. His hand looks like a lot of land, again.
Yeah.
There's I think some spell in there. He quickly shuffled it as well.
Too. So here's this, and is that going to be Spreading
Seas on his green source.
There goes that.
But
it is a lot of lands. Is that Oracle Moldiah I see?
Or is it?
Well, he doesn't have Oracle Moldiah in his deck.
Yeah,
so
maybe Primeval Titan.
Yeah, it could be Primeval Titan.
But he plays a mountain.
And in comes Lotus Cobra. It almost looks like Green Weaver Druid, but I also know that is not the card. It's probably just Primeval Titan.
Is that what it is? It's like
or maybe it's Summoning Trap.
Could be Summoning Trap, yeah.
That sounds about right.
He is mimicking Kibler's.
Maybe he's just banking his opponent on Kibler trying to counter one of the spells he can trap.
The Green Bay Packers and the Atlanta Falcons, 42-21.
Wow. Oh yeah.
Was that 42-21?
42-21 Packers.
Wow.
That's right. At least one of the teams that I wanted to win today is winning. I don't know if I had a choice. Definitely want the Ravens to have won, but
yeah,
oh well.
That really sucks.
You know, Mike Turian is a big Steelers fan, and I have this, ongoing kind of trash talking, but I never seem to come out on top.
They don't mess with the potato, let me tell you.
Another Hall of Famer. All right, so there's is that a Verdant Catacombs?
So Lotus Cobra gets in there, and Kibler hasn't really done too much this game. He's building up lands. He's got quite a few reactive cards in his hand. He's spreading seas once. Is that Sunblast Angel I see?
I know there's a Day of Judgment, or at least I'm pretty sure there's a Day of Judgment.
I'm pretty sure I saw a Day of Judgment also. Kibler confidently. Here's Gideon. And he's just willing to do it. He's just willing, all right, tap out.
He's got a Colonnade on board too, so he's going to see. Are we going to do the same thing again, where I'm going to take you out in 2 swings if you don't stop me?
And Eugene has access to 6 mana this turn. That just shows you how fearless Kibler is. Just like, all right, whatever, 5 mana, Gideon, go.
Right, because if Kibler's got the Day of Judgment, it's like, those Titans are not so threatening when they only, pay 6 mana for 2 lands. All right,
Right. I mean, also you could just walk right into a summoning trap or anything else, and I just don't think a lot of players would have that kind of discipline necessary. And yeah, very well see the same thing as last game. Untap, activate Celestial Colonnade, attack for 10. Untap, activate Celestial Colonnade, attack for 10. And oh, well, he's summoning trapping, so yeah, that was a trap. Is that Inferno Titan I see in there? Oh, yes, come on in. So joining us is Adam Prozac, freshly drawn in to his top 8 berth here at the Start of the Games.
Back again.
And it's pretty awesome. He's in
living the rogue life.
There was Inferno Titan, by the way.
Yeah, he put Inferno Titan on the battlefield. So apparently there are
4
rug decks guaranteed in the top 8.
Yeah, 4. Yeah, we figured it out.
Yeah, this was the weekend to be playing rug.
No.
Apparently 4 people.
No, I had no idea.
Right.
Got lucky.
Oh yeah, you switched at the last minute.
Yeah.
Didn't you? Yeah.
I'm just like, meta is so weird sometimes because I always pick decks I feel comfortable with, and then when I make top 8, like 800 other people make top 8 with it too.
How perfect. So we had an Inferno Titan resolve, not the most dangerous Titan, and I think here's Day of Judgment to wipe the board. And Gideon's gonna get in. Yep, serve for 6. Like
I actually haven't seen it, but the new decals look pretty cool. I haven't seen SCG live yet.
Yeah, no, it's a great setup. Like it looks really clean, and the game board looks awesome too.
Yeah,
it's really pretty. Oh, someone had a blue dice earlier. That was
a little it was like the perfect blue to match the playmat. And they were using them as tokens.
So you weren't here, Adam, but game 1, Eugene Koo, Kibler's opponent, goes turn 2, Lotus Cobra, turn 3, explore, put 3 lands onto the battlefield, plus my normal land drop. So we just like had infinite lands. Then like Kibler was just fearless. He was like, he had Stork Rebuttal in his hand. He was like, you know what? If he has it, he has it. He was like, all right, turn 5 Gideon, turn 6 activate Colonnade, turn 6 activate Colonnade, kill you.
And Eugene had nothing.
Yeah, Eugene just had nothing. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, Kibler was jacing him.
There it went.
But
that's
Kibler with the fearless
match.
The Gideon just.
And although I didn't see Kibler do it, I can see him breathing a sigh of relief. He's in top 8, locked it up.
He cracked that smile.
Yeah, cracked the Kibler.
I will lie. I'd do it. Happy.
Wow.